Hello and welcome to the For Her Empire podcast. I'm your host Abby Ngaucher, and in this podcast we address the personal and the business issues that female entrepreneurs face in their daily lives. My guest today is the lovely Viviana Alvarado. Ha! I tried several times to get that last name perfect. Okay. Hi Viviana.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm so excited to be here. You're so full of life and energy.
Thank you. Okay, so Viviana is a life coach that helps women. And in this podcast, we want to talk about the personal roadblocks that affect a woman's success, such as her self-confidence. So before we jump right into it, can you tell us a bit more about yourself, Viviana?
Sure. So I've been through a journey. I'm still on my own journey with self-confidence and the workplace and just trying to get out there in a world full of men. So it's been it's been interesting to say the least. How I got to helping women, that was I remember it was one of the assignments to get your life coach certification. Like, think about like who your client is, what is it that you want to do. And then during that time, my sister-in-law and a few of my friends were going through different things, and just talking to them over the phone or seeing them, and then just like seeing their struggle because they don't think they can, raise their voice for their children, or, just you speak their mind about what's going on at work. It kind of like clicked, all these women come to me because they want someone to listen to them and to help them. So I was like, this is what I need to do.
Yeah. Wow. Um, your sister has been affected at work. Her workplace was kind of toxic for her.
No, that's one of my friends. My sister-in-law, she has two kids, and she was having a hard time speaking up about their needs at school. So and that was very very touching to me, because like as a mom, you want to be a beast, and those are your kids, and you want to be mama bear. And for her to just like feel that her voice didn't matter, it broke my heart. And I don't want to see anybody go through that. If I can help them, I will.
Yeah. So, self-confidence. Like, the self-confidence only like applies in terms of like your kids. What of like your own self-confidence? Let's say at work, being unable to speak up because you think or you assume that what you're saying might not be so relevant, or like you might stutter, or you might sound ridiculous, or you will speak up but then nobody will listen to you and someone just talks above you, and so you just like keep it to yourself. Those are part of the things you address, right?
Yes, absolutely. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. And it's a fine line, because we can be so emotional and so passionate about something, and you definitely want people to see that, but you don't want them to think that you're being emotional. So that's kind of like so tricky, because I've been told that. I've been told like, okay, so now let's look at it from the rational perspective, and I'm like, wait, no, that's not what I'm doing. Like, I'm not being emotional right now.
Oh
Um,
wow. Okay.
yes, yes.
Oh,
So I've had to address a few people
oh.
in that sense. So yeah, it's the words that we use, and it's
That
how
is
we
such
say
a
it.
hurtful thing to say, though. Like, oh my
It
god.
it, it was
Oh
it
my
was
god.
and I just I lost it inside, but I kept focused on what I wanted to say and getting my point across,
Yeah,
and it's very, very.
yeah. I have realized that when sometimes women say something that is contrary to their opinions or to their feelings, we are told that we are being emotional, or we're catching so many feelings that those sort of hurtful words, as though like you have no grounds to say what's on your mind and to just speak out.
Exactly, exactly. And it's just because it doesn't sound scripted, it's not it's just because it's not on that person's script, on that person's agenda.
Yeah,
Uh
yeah,
so it catches them kind of like off guard.
yeah,
But we have to get there because we have so many good ideas and so many talents, and they all come from being a woman, and we have to get our point across. If not, a lot of things are just not going to progress for us.
yeah, yeah. And from a corporate perspective, are there any no, not structures, how do I phrase it? Because if you get told at an office place that you're being too emotional when you're simply getting your point across, when it happens the first time and nothing is being done, it keeps happening, and slowly your voice starts reducing, because in your head you're thinking, am I being emotional now? You start thinking that your opinions are not valid anymore. So are there any structures or any procedures that we can put in the office, or maybe already exist in the workplace, to sort of remove this sort of toxic behavior?
Yes, I always because I like I said, I've been through it myself, and it's not just once, it's many times. My own protocol on doing these things, I usually address the person first. Because sometimes I'm not only a woman, I'm a minority as well.
Yeah.
So it's kind of double the pain. So sometimes they're not even realizing, they are so just immersed in that culture and in those behaviors, that they don't realize that they're dismissing you.
Oh,
And
really?
that is
You don't
actually,
realize
for
you're
me,
dismissing
that's actually,
someone.
yes, they don't. It's like, I'm like, what are you? Oh no, I'm so sorry. Then they feel so awful, and I'm like, yeah, you're dismissing me, and you're so used to your whole life that you don't even, here you are like 50,
Yeah.
and you've been doing this all this time. So yeah, I liked, because you don't know where they're coming from. And if that doesn't work, I'll give it like a week, and if I still see it happening, I'll go to the next, to like human resources, and try to do something about it. Because if it's directed at you, then you're either a threat to that person, and they feel intimidated by you, so they want your voice to just be as minimal as possible, or they're just jerks with everybody around them, and they still need to be stopped. So,
Yeah, and that's not exactly a healthy workplace environment to be in, though.
oh no, and I always tell people, you need to use specific words, like you need to use a hostile work environment. Corporations hate those words. Like hostile work environment, harassment. Like, you need to, like, anything that starts with H, basically, you need to do to your
Wow.
advantage, because then it'll get fixed quickly. They don't want a lawsuit
Yeah,
underneath.
yeah, yeah. And how effective is HR in actually preventing this conflict from happening? Because if you've gone to HR, maybe once, and nothing gets done, when you tell them again that I'm being dismissed, I'm being talked down to, and I'm being just talked over and just like run through with words. If the first time nothing happens, you become less willing to put yourself through that, because even going there requires some level of strength, and then you dismiss me again. Like, do HR even work? Like, do going there actually help?
That's yeah, and I know you asked the question because you know that the answer is like barely. Um, but, I like to try, and like I said, I first go in person, and if not, I start typing emails, and I start, because that's time stamped, that's day stamped, it's written. There's no way they can get rid of that. I always think, I try to think 10 steps ahead, and
Okay.
that's what I teach, every person that I work with, my family's my friend. You need to think ahead, so that way you're at least, one step ahead of the game. Because if they catch on to you, that's it. And I've been told by a boss, like, oh, I had the situation and I wrote an email, and I CC'd him because I wanted him to be aware of it.
Yes.
So, and then he tells me, next time, maybe why don't you just go talk to them? And the second step is an email. And that just rubbed me the wrong way, because I'm just thinking you just don't want it written anywhere. Because if it is, didn't do something, then it's gonna come back to you because you're the boss.
Yeah.
So after that, I just wrote everything. I'm like, no.
It really sounds like you yourself are unconcerned that there is a hostile, that you're creating a very hostile work environment. And rather than you assuring me that you will follow up with it, that this is not going to happen again, and try to create that friendly, at least less sort of work environment. You're telling me, well, you should have gone to somebody else. That's like no responsibility on your path. It's your own goddamn business.
Exactly. So I was like, I don't like this. And I tell people, you have to educate yourself. Like, how many of us actually get a new job and or go somewhere and actually read the manual that they give us?
It was a manual.
The employee guide. I'm like, do you read that? Do you actually, like, I'm at my my day job, I have a union, and do you actually read a union manual? Like, you need to read those things, so that way when you have an issue, you can come back at them with something that they wrote. I'm like, listen, it's not me, it's written on your manual. Yeah, you can come back at them with those things. And we have to equip ourselves. And it's a little sad, because you see a lot of men or people in power, and they just get by without knowing anything. And it's incredibly frustrating. But there's nothing wrong with educating ourselves. And coming back, that's another thing. You have to listen very carefully, and you have to point out. It's like when you're going to school and they teach you, just find those words, find those specific words that you need to learn, so that way you'll remember everything about it. That's what they would tell me, like, just find that word that will click for you. Do that at work, in relationships. And this is something my husband kind of hates about me, honestly. Yes, he kind of does, because I'll go back and I'm like, no, those were not the words that you said. This is what you said.
Oh my God.
This is what you. So, can we figure this out now? And of course, it's a little bold to do that, and it's not like you're not going to attack with that at first. But if you have to do it, you have to do it, because it's like, no, but wait a second, what you said was this. And then at that point, we definitely have to take a look at ourselves and just make sure that we're not like sobbing or crying or anything, because once we do that, coming out of emotion. So
and then once that happens, it's like your entire case is thrown out. It's like you are not at apparently a clear state of mind.
Exactly, and you're like, no, that's not what I'm trying to do, that's not what I'm trying to say. But then you get more frustrated and you cry more.
Like, I can cry and still be at a good state of mind. I'm like, yeah, I'm crying, but I still have, my point is still getting across, it's still valid.
Yes, I'm just very frustrated that it's not getting across at a speed that needs to get across. But yeah, no, those are like things, and it makes you confident that, you're doing what you need to do for you. And if in the end it doesn't work out, then now you have a lot of experience under your belt, and for the next one you're going to be more prepared. Everything is about learning,
Yeah, yeah.
and learning from our mistakes and moving forward and making those little changes that we need to make. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
um but we in the work environment, we have to be sharks.
Yeah. Which is kind of not unfair, but unrealistic. Like, because while I'm going to work, it's not just that you're helping me because you're paying me. It's also that I'm contributing towards the success, towards the processes in your business. It's a give and take. And so,
Exactly.
why do I have to become a shark in the place I'm putting hours and hours and hours and effort into for you to respect me?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's extremely frustrating because you're right. You put in hours, you put in all of this effort, and in the
Yes.
end, you have to go and feel like you have to bite someone's head off so they can see all
Yeah.
of that you're doing. It's very, very hard. So that self confidence from the beginning, and and it can bite you. It can bite you in the bottom. Absolutely. But from the very beginning, you have to get there, and you have to be strong. Even if at the end of the day you're exhausted, you go home, you cry. Even by the way you dress, how you walk, you have to project that so they know to take you seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like don't ask questions, but learn as much as you can. Learn as much
Yeah.
as you can on your own. Observe people, what they're doing, where they're going, so that way you can get into those habits. And oh, she knows this, she knows that, and they're surprised. But my husband is
Why are you
making
surprised that
like
I know things? What the hell?
they're surprised. Oh, it's very. When
The
I started
hell?
the job that I have now, they're like, "Oh, you know this." I'm like, "Yes, I do."
Yeah.
Like,
Why do you think
you
I'm
think
working
I'm
here?
coming from a hole in the ground? They're like, it's very, very
Oh.
hard to get our. When I was working with a team of women, that's when I was at my happiest. I was like, you see, all of you, we get each other. We're good
Yeah.
with each other. But sometimes they're also, it's hard to work with a team of a lot of women because
You clash a
it's,
lot.
yes, absolutely. And the big boss, she doesn't want anybody to like take her shine and take her place. So it becomes it can be pretty aggressive.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sometimes I have to like ask myself, am I questioning your opinions because um I think there's something we could improve, or am I questioning her opinion because I am a bit intimidated and I feel like I don't want her to be any more superior than I am. Sometimes I don't know. I don't even know how that mentality got into my head. But like sometimes you have like a female supervisor, then she says something that's contrary to what you've said, and then you are now very much inclined to like, sort of like shut that down. So now I'm wondering, am I shutting you down because I don't agree with your opinion, or am I just annoyed that you question my opinion?
You're right, but this is a whole process that if I ask my husband, for example, he's not going to say that he goes through.
Oh,
He's Yeah, no, he's probably, I can assure you that he's not going to say that he goes through that. He's just going to say
okay. I thought it was a
no,
normal thought
he's
process.
wrong. He's just gonna say no, he was wrong, and that's why I said what I said. Like very simple minded. Like, here we are going like A, B, C, D, like, and you're like, no,
Nah,
he was just
you missed
wrong.
a step in there somewhere.
I'm
Oh,
like, yeah, that was that was very interesting. His word stories are just it's refreshing, because they go from point A to point B simple. My
yeah.
stories go from A to
Wait,
B to
wait,
C,
wait,
then
wait,
for
wait.
some reason back at A,
Like a
then
roller coaster.
that, and then in the end he's just like, oh, okay.
Oh my god.
I just talked for 30 minutes straight. And this is what you have to say. Because he got
Yeah.
lost. Because we get lost in the whole.
Sometimes I wonder, like, are we living like in the same world? Like you could have a male and female employee doing say similar roles in the same company, but it feels like we are both in different universes and different things happening to both of us.
Absolutely. And I work right now. I work at a school and we have I'm part of support staff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I have two coworkers. They have the exact same position.
Okay.
It's a woman and a man.
Okay.
And oh my gosh, she feels like, that it's just everything is different for them. Like if we need if they need help, admin needs help, why do you always go to her for like secretarial stuff? Not that it's beneath her,
Yeah,
absolutely not. But like, what's wrong with him?
he can do that as
Like,
well.
he can make copies. What? You need
Yeah.
help. So I try to help her in the sense that if I need someone to like hand out stuff for my families, I go to him.
Yeah.
And I let her do her job because most of the days you will see her doing anything but
Her
her job.
job. Yeah.
And it's very frustrating. But again, with the simple mind, we're in the process of moving at from one school to the other, and here we were, like her and I and him, we were tasked with like labeling stuff in the basement for it to go to the other school. And and I are going through this whole process. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. We gotta check this. We gotta check that. And then he's already started, and we're like, okay, so how are you doing it? Just very excited because we have our whole plan. And he's like, if it's sealed, I just label it. Like, that's it. One sentence, very simple. If the box is sealed, label it. And here we were with like a 5-step plan.
Yeah. But did you need a
That was
five-step plan, though? Or was it that simple and you overcomplicated it?
I swear we had a whole meeting right before heading downstairs, and he was already like labeling stuff because it was sealed. I'm like, so it's like we feel like we have to have a plan, and everything has to be put together. And sometimes I feel like that's one of our roadblocks. We should
Yeah.
just like sometimes just go, like, let's do it, let's go.
Oh, I can relate to that in a different direction. So, I have not, because we had the first COVID lockdown sort of order from the government in March. And so,
Okay.
and I still had my 9 to 5, and I still have my 9 to 5. And so the order was you don't avoid crowding. So
Yeah.
when you go to work, there should not be more than 5 of you in the entire place. Yeah.
Okay.
So it was all public gatherings were cancelled. So
Canceled.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So people had to cancel their weddings and stuff. Actually, had a former colleague had to cancel his wedding, and I was like trying to figure out how to ask him how is the wedding happening right now. Like I just kept quiet. So so I had gone nowhere since March until the first week of June. So I was like, it's 13th right now, so until like almost 2 weeks ago. So and I like cooking. So while we were in town, the Central Business District, there is this bakery I like buying pies and burgers from, and then they had closed. They're no longer there. And so he suggested, his name is Moses, by the way, a colleague of mine was like, let's go to a different place. And I was like, I could just make my own burger. Like, yeah, I had like an entire plan. I was like, I wanted a yakitori, yeah, a yakitori. So like I could just go buy the bread, buy the chicken, put the spices I want, get the butter, a bit of cheese, and make it. And I was like, it would take you 2 hours to do all of that, or you could just go over there and buy it. It's like, no,
Mm.
why would I do that?
With the simple, I'm telling you, it's very simple. And for me it's like another thing that happens to me is that let's say I'm looking for a job, right? And I'm looking and I'm trying to find something that I like 100% qualified for, right?
Yeah.
There's absolutely no way that they can turn me down except that I say something stupid and or a little psycho paranoid on interview, right? So like I'm good. I prepare, I get the clothes or whatever. My husband over here, he wants another job. He literally gets out from his current job and then goes like all dirty, all mechanic-y, like oil, and he gets another job. And I'm like, listen, I took a whole shower, I shaved my legs, I did my hair, and I still didn't get the job. And here you are like, oh, I want this job. So simple. So simple. Sometimes
Yeah.
I try so hard.
You just overcomplicate it.
And nothing happens. And I think that's one of like our biggest. It's yes, and that's part of what makes us, extremely like vacation planning. Listen, I'm your person because I my 5-step plan always works, and that's great. But we put so many. We're always trying to think ahead so much when we don't need to, and I think that's where we need to separate things. Like I help with women, so like their relationship, like my point is getting married, but then I'm like, okay, so let's go get you married, okay, let's do it. But then they have like, oh, but this, but that, but I'm like, listen,
you need all of that.
You're not gonna get married like that. Like, give me something here. Okay, now if you have an issue like we were talking about earlier with like human resources or like that's when you definitely need to think ahead and think of those roadblocks, so you can say, okay, so yes, I hit it, let me remove it because I already know what I need to do. But with other things that are simple, let's take your breather.
Take it as it comes and not like overcomplicate things and think like the entire thing through and scenarios that never quite happen.
Exactly. You were prepared for like all of these things, and then it was very simple. You went in, you interviewed, you got the job. That's it.
I know. Okay, so we've kind of strayed a bit from the self-confidence part because we both had so many personal stories.
But it all relates, though. It all relates because you have to be, confident enough that you're going to go in and that what you have, what your abilities and what your skills, what you carry, that's what's going to get you. Sometimes, unfortunately, it's all about who you know, and that is there's just no way that we can
everywhere.
Like so yeah, no, that's very real. That I cannot say that doesn't happen, and I can't tell you right now, you have all your skills, you're gonna go and you're gonna get that job, but unfortunately, so and so sister is going in and
they can get the job instead.
She got the job, and that absolutely happens. But then that means that they didn't need you. You're going to go somewhere where you are needed, and then you're appreciated.
Yes.
That's it. We can just keep going. But all of these things, it's about like like with the I want to make sure that I am 100% qualified. Research shows that a man will apply for either a promotion or a job that he's only 60% qualified.
Yeah.
And here we are like checking all these boxes.
I actually have positive stories on that. I'm like applying to jobs I have no experience for and getting it. Because first of all, like when this was like my also my overthinking process was that I'm not the only one applying for this that I'm qualified for. Probably more qualified people applying for this, and they're probably gonna demand a much higher salary than I would, and it'll be probably harder for them to train them because you were sort of stuck in your own ways than me coming in here with like zero experience. And also, most when they apply for jobs, at least from the employee side. Since I tend to do post a lot of outsourcing, and then most of them just like really bland applications. So you have all the qualifications, but I could read your CV and fall asleep. And it's so bland. It's like zero personality anyway, and I'm like, I don't want to work with you. I literally got to the job simply because I was jovial enough. Like you would learn as you go. And I was like, yeah, I would learn as I go. Yeah. So like,
it's
so apply for
it's
it. And if you're like 60% qualified, apply. Don't overthink
go
it.
for it.
Yeah.
Go for it, because even like even if let's, yeah, you don't have the experience or whatever, but what if your personality is what got you that job?
Yeah.
Like right now, I never worked at a school. All of my jobs have been like nonprofits with mental health. Like I've really had no like school experience, right?
Yeah.
And I went in, and what got me the job, I can say, they haven't said it, but I can say it was my personality, because it's a job related to engaging families and students. So
Yeah.
my personality was what was shining in that
Mm.
interview. um that they said, okay, this is the person that we need, even though like my work has been with, working with crisis mental health patients.
Yeah.
It has nothing
Yeah.
to do with what I'm doing right now. But you'd never know what's actually going to catch that person's, attention and that person's interest to get you to do the job. Or not even just that, like let's say you have your own business and you want to collaborate and you want to, do different connections. Maybe you have no experience, nothing to do with like podcasting or with like, planning events or whatever, but your personality, your skills, your skill set in something else is what's going to catch that person's attention and wants to
Yeah.
connect with.
Yeah.
So we just have to get to know each other. One of the exercises that I do is it's a heart map, and I ask people to put inside that heart map their positive traits or their strengths.
Okay.
It is so hard for some woman to do this.
Like a SWOT analysis.
I'm like, okay, I'll write it for you. So I turn the paper, I do the little heart, and then they just sit there for like 10 minutes and they only give me like 5 things. And here I am thinking so many other things, because I've talked to them, I know them, I
Yeah.
get them,
Yeah.
but I can't tell you. The point is for
So you
you
should think of this things on yourself.
to figure it out, to get that insight, because I can tell you everything, but if you're just like a sounding board, and then just then what good
There's
is
no
that gonna do?
impact then.
Absolutely not. So I'm like, okay, you're gonna finish this
Eventually.
next time. Because you have to, and if we need to work on that for 3 sessions, we will, because from there, that's where we're, and I'm sorry, that's my dog. And this is, something that we all have to know. We're also focused on things that we need to change, right?
Yeah.
I need
Yes.
to change this. I need to lose weight. I need to wear more makeup. I need to learn how to do my eyebrows.
Oh my god! I just left my eyebrows, but like a blade
Listen,
near my face is not happening.
listen. I'm like, I have my appointment. They finally opened, the nail salons and stuff. No, they haven't opened. They're gonna open them next week. And I'm like, listen, I need my nails, because that's what made me feel confident. My nails on my eyebrows. I don't care about the hair. I'm like, the makeup, whatever, but my nails on my eyebrows. Listen, people, just do it.
I can relate. I have zero makeup
Yes,
skills except lipstick.
I think the lipstick. If that's what makes you feel confident, let's do the lipstick. I'm like, just
Yeah.
whatever it is. So, um, so I tell them, like, you want to change all of those things. Perfect. How are you going to change them? What tools are you going to use? And it's the positive things that you have.
Yeah.
You don't have to go out there and get a workbook. You don't. You have your strengths. Use those strengths to tackle those vulnerabilities. You don't have, nothing has to come from the outside. Maybe
Yeah.
yes, you need someone to talk to help you plan it or whatever, but you have those strengths. If the problem is that you suck at doing routines or writing things down, but if your strength is that you're motivated, use that motivation to get you to where
Yeah.
you need
Write
to
them
be.
down. Yeah.
Yes. if your problem is that you you want to help your kids or your husband, you want to have like better family time, but you're an awesome like event planner, and you okay, so let's plan out the week. How
Yeah.
is it that it's going to look like? When it does your family have time all together to get there?
Yeah,
You're the
yeah,
manager, you're the manager of your life, of your own home, so you definitely have those skills.
yeah,
um so it's just we have everything that we need as women,
yeah,
to succeed, but we just don't see it sometimes because we're so focused on what we need to change.
yeah. You just hit me now. Like, um, write the list, like the things you want to change about yourself or about aspects of your life, or your business, and then the things you are good at, and then use what you're good at to change, to fix what you want to change. Like, yeah, I didn't think of it
Exactly.
that way.
Yes.
Ah!
Yes. Yes. Because we have it, and it's just like, oh my God, why is it so hard for us to see it?
Oh.
It is
it's
so
it's
so hard.
easier for us to see all the negatives than us to see the positive about ourselves. I'm like, I could count like five negative things about myself that I want to change. So it's easier to like point out these negatives than to like the positives, because like now I used to have an eating problem, and I used to have like a very bad self image of myself. I hated my body, and it took me a while to like really look at Abby in the mirror and go, damn Abby, fist bump. So it took years
Yes.
to get to that point. But if you'd asked me
It
then,
does.
yeah, if you'd asked me then what I like about myself, I would just stare at you and like, I'm alive.
Nothing.
That was
I
it.
breathe.
Yeah. Like even breathing, some breathing was hard some days because breathing was like exhausting. Eating was exhausting because you have to chew constantly. Like you don't just put a rice in your mouth and you swallow. You have to like chew 4 or 5 times, and that was exhausting. So that was not a good thing. So it's
Yeah.
hard for us to like find good things about ourselves. But the negatives, I can like look down and go, I want flatter belly. I want better eyebrows. I want better hair, longer hair. I want to be taller. I want to be slimmer. So I can count all the things I want to change about myself. But and we're constantly reminded about that, whether directly or indirectly, whether with your family, your friends, the media, office space. We are reminded of those negatives. The positives, literally nobody ever goes there. Oh,
Yeah, no,
there's a
you're
bike
you're
outside.
absolutely right. And you hit on something very, very real, it's around us. Everything is around us.
Yeah.
So we have to like, in Puerto Rico we say, bañate con vaselina. Like that means like just take a bath in Vaseline, because everything will just like slide through and nothing is going to hurt you. Like it's just, it's not gonna hit you. It's gonna hit you and then go right
Yeah.
down.
Oh.
And gonna go right down. And I think that's part of what makes us so like spicy and feisty, because we can be so cruel with other
Yes, we
people
can.
that
We
we don't
can.
even care anymore. But it's true. And they always tell you that because people are going to um try to put you down. They're gonna try to shut your voice down, or they're gonna try to hurt you, saying whatever, like, oh, you look a little bit chubbier, or
Oh,
when are you gonna get married? And stuff
oh,
like that.
story of my
So
life.
yeah, right. Oh my God, I feel so bad, because I'm like, why do you even have to ask that? How about you ask her how she's doing in her job? How about you ask her how that business is going? Can you help? How can I help? Hey, can I buy something that you're selling or whatever? No, it's
Yeah.
like, do you have
You're gonna get married? When will you have
a boyfriend?
kids? You should
I
have kids. Everybody wants kids. Like, okay.
can no.
Are you taking care of them? Who's paying the school fees? Who's paying the bills? Who's carrying the child? Me or
You
you?
already
If it's not you,
know.
uh,
And then it doesn't end though. It doesn't end because like I fulfilled the family dream. I have a kid. But now it's like, when are you gonna have the boy?
huh?
And I'm like, what?
Is it your
I
damn
have the
business?
I'm saying I have the one kid. She's good. Like she's
Yeah.
good. She's healthy. She eats every day. She has clothes. Can you be happy about that?
Yeah.
We're not living under a bridge somewhere. Like, no, it's like, now you have to give us a boy. I'm like,
Hell no.
no,
Come carry the
because
boy. You get
yeah,
pregnant.
like I have two, a dog and a cat. They're both boys. They're fine.
You can have them.
Like they can carry the last name. I don't know. I don't care. So it never ends because we're always constantly going to feel, and people are going to make us feel like that. So
Yes.
I have to admit, at some point there, I was like, I think I'm going to have another kid. It was a very brief 3 months.
Yeah.
And then I was
But
like,
you're allowed to have
no.
that. It's your
I'm
life,
like,
it's your body, it's your choice. It's like you want to have a kid, go ahead. But you're the one carrying the kid. Somebody else should not be the one inputting in my own life. Then ask me something else.
yes, exactly. But we've always been so like proper, and I admire my sister, for example. She's does not care, like if you're being rude or you're asking one of those stupid questions, she will let and
I like her as well.
not me. I'm like very diplomatic. I'm like, oh, ha, 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 I'm fine. Yeah. But she's like,
No, back away.
I'm not gonna have a kid. Like, don't you get it?
Oh, we get along just nicely.
She's beautiful in that way, and I'm like, I admire you, but I'm always trying to like keep the peace and try to like the relationships. I'm pretty sure I would be great at working in the White House trying to keep peace along the world, but like
I'm pretty sure they'll make it impossible for you.
I'm like, listen, people. But she's not. She's full of fire and she's full of life, and I absolutely love that about her, because she's made her choices, and no, you're not going to come to me and let me know that my choices are wrong. You're not going to do that. That's not going
Yeah.
to happen. For me, I don't let it affect me. I use the Vaseline trick.
Slide down.
Yes, it's lighting through. I'm not. So, you can tell me all the things that you want to tell me at this one party, right? Like, oh, you should have the boy. First of all, how do you even know that my next child is going to be a boy? Let's figure that out right now. So if I go to the ultrasound and it's a little vagina there, do I get to turn it back? because because I need to have the boy first. But like all of these things, they come in and they tell you all these things. So I listen to them because I find it that they're just projecting some of
Yeah,
their
yeah.
insecurities to us. So I just listen to them and I'm like, oh, whatever, no, maybe not. I don't know. I want to go to Mexico. Just whatever excuse I can give them. And then I don't sit there when they're gone and think about it. I don't do that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
some of us do.
Yeah. It
Some
takes a
absolutely
while. Like you probably at some point did, but now you've sort of moved from that and gotten stronger and sort of learned the lesson that if I keep listening to this, if I keep hearing their words, it's gonna hurt me, and it's gonna hurt my confidence. It's gonna hurt the way
absolutely
I see myself.
absolutely. And I can tell you exactly when that happened.
Oh,
That
when?
happened when I was pregnant.
Mm.
When I was pregnant, this lady I love Diet Coke. I love Diet Coke. I'm like, I've tried, people, oh, that's bad for you. It has aspartame, it has chemicals, it has all of these things. You're gonna die young. I'm like, okay. So I was drinking a little. It was like 4 ounces of soda, and this lady, a family member of my husband's,
Mm-hmm.
a distant family member at that. It's not even one of those that you actually that you care about. I'm like, lady, we don't
I don't
even
need to
see you
know you
ever.
anyway.
And for real, I'm like, who are you again? So she tells me, don't drink soda. And she took my cup.
Yo, I'm
This
pregnant. I'm gonna
lady,
beat you right now.
this lady took my cup and she told me that my child was gonna have ADHD because of
Okay,
soda. And I'm like,
I'm gonna whoop you. Like, yeah.
So that was the moment where my life turned around, and I was like, no. So I got up and I went and I got my soda, and I was like, I am going to drink this because I want to. Like, it's none of your business, lady. I'm not shooting uh, heroin here in front of everybody while my big belly. Like, it's a diet soda, for God's sake. It's not the end of the world. So
Yeah.
at that point I was like, no, I'm done with people because when you're pregnant, or when you're buying a house, when you're doing all of these, like, um life uh,
Milestone check.
goals, and like when you're doing all of these things, and it's us as women too. We do it to ourselves, to our own tribe. We feel the need to go and say, oh, these curtains will go really good with this chair, or how about you put the living room here, or don't drink diet soda when you're pregnant, or like, are you sure those colors are good for your wedding? Like, though, all of those things, it's like it's my house, it's my pregnancy, it's my wedding. um I'm not saying do not welcome,
Yeah,
advice or
yeah.
whatever, but it's just the way they say it, that it's kind of like inputting their goals and their lifestyle into your life.
Yes.
um and then from that personal experience, it all because then it opened up my eyes to all of the other times, either at work or at school or at the store, that someone said something like that to me, and I just, like,
Okay.
step back and let them do,
Yeah.
or did whatever they wanted me to do. So at that point, I was like, nah. When I was pregnant, it was a really good experience, a good learning, good learning experience,
Yeah, yeah.
because I noticed what that people want to tell you what you need to do.
Yeah.
Um,
Like a wake
so
up
after
call.
that, I was like, yeah. After that, and then when I moved to Connecticut from Puerto Rico, that was a really big one too. But that was because of the minority status.
Yeah.
That's when I realized I had to be a little sharky with people, because I'm a woman, I'm Hispanic, and a few times I was like, "There's no way I'm gonna get there. There's no way.
Yeah, yeah,
These people are
yeah.
not going
And
to
and I know in
go up."
America, I mean Kenya, so most of my knowledge is based on what you see in the news, or what the American media sort of puts out. They tend to stereotype people who are Hispanic, people who are not educated, people who are not intelligent. There is this stereotype going on in there. Now you're a woman as well, and so it's like you're subhuman or lower class, and you're Hispanic. It's just like
Exactly.
boom, boom, boom. You're down there.
Yes, you just keep going down. So and there's is such a thing, and they talk about microaggression mostly, in terms of race and racism. Like, for example, oh, you moved here when? Oh, I moved here back June, and it's like August or September, and they're like, oh, your English is really good.
Oh, my phone is bright. Let me
It's
put on
really
silent.
good for a
What?
person who what that's people will say those things to you, and I just, like, at first, again, with my diplomacy act, I was like, oh, thank you, but then I sat there
Thank
one
you
day and I
for
realized,
what?
and I said, thank you. I was like, I sat there and I was like, these people are telling me that my English is good. I'm like, my English is my English. I speak two languages. My brain, it's you don't want to see me when I'm angry, because I don't even know what I'm saying. I'll say two words in English, three in Spanish, and then one that I don't even know what language it is. So it's like, my English is good. That's it. You don't have to let me know, because I know that I speak two languages. How many do you speak? Like, let's stop doing that. Let's stop thinking, and that's a microaggression. So those things happen because we're women too. Those things happen in the building. Oh, that's a feather on your cap.
It's your goddamn
Excuse
cap.
me. Well, thank you for giving me a feather. I guess. I mean, what? It's not because I know what I do and I know what I'm capable of. It's not. What are you talking about? So we need to, we just need to just stop and just be simple when we need to be simple. Take a, and it's hard for me because I'm like, I'm not gonna learn anything from a man. I'm gonna learn everything from strong womanly roles in my life and history. But no, yeah, they're simple. Let's just let's embrace that.
Yeah, that's another thing. You can learn from a man, you can learn from a woman. Learning from a man does not make you any less of a woman or any less strong. Just as learning from a woman does not make you any less of a woman or any less strong. It just there are different things to learn from each other, and just accept it and
Absolutely.
don't just overthink it.
Don't overthink. That's oh my goodness. But and that's what happens with that exercise that I was telling you about. You're overthinking. You're I'm sure that you're sitting there actually thinking all these positive things, but you're overthinking because you want to say the things that you think I want to hear.
Yes.
I don't want to hear, I don't want to hear anything specific. I want you to tell me what you're good at. That's it. That's it. But you're sitting there like, oh my God, if I tell her that it's being positive, a good thing. It's being flexible, a good thing. Yeah, all of those things are good. But you're sitting there thinking if I'm going to approve or not. So it's hard because we're always planning and our brain never ever shuts up instead of just like
Yeah.
taking that plunge and just go with your gut.
Yeah.
Yes, you're positive. That's a great thing. You're always smiling. Perfect. You like to wear your lipstick, like all of those things. Right, right. Like, oh yeah, I don't go out of the house without lipstick. Good for you.
Oh my
Like
god.
that is positive. That means that you like yourself. And it's about that. It's like, what does that mean? So it's an exercise that's made to help you think, but because our voice has been like lowered and lower and lowered, we don't give it a go.
Yeah, yeah. So apart from just listing out all the positive attributes about yourself and things about yourself that you like, and for maybe for your business, things about your business that's you like about it, what other exercise can we do to sort of get our self confidence up?
It's not so much an exercise as a kind of like a homework.
Okay.
I tell my clients that they need to learn something every day,
Okay.
whatever it is. I need you to go out there and learn something about something that you
Okay.
like whatever. I don't care what it is. Did you learn a new recipe? Yes, because we're always like so focused on we think that learning it's either for work, or while you're studying, while you're going to school. You know, you have to learn things every single day because those are skills that you will always have. So
Um, Learn as in take a course or
no,
just
that's
oh.
you see, that's what I'm talking about right there. That's exactly what I'm talking about. We don't learn just for that. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So you have homework. You need to learn something. Whether it is that you sat there and you watch the news and you learn that, oh my God, there's this going on in this part of the world and it's because this and that. Or you go on Pinterest and you find a recipe and you learn how to.
Oh, oh,
I
oh, oh. Okay, now I get
guys,
it.
when you go and you find, like, listen, I made macaroons one time, and that day I felt like the biggest chef in whole Connecticut. I was like,
Sounds good.
nobody here. Yes, I was like, nobody in this state is a better cook than I am right now.
Yeah.
I posted those macaroons everywhere on every social media. I sent them to everybody in my family. I was like, yes, I made these.
Chef Viviana, put some respect on my name.
Oh my God. Listen, and I was so insecure about it too. In the morning, but then my sister was like, just go in and try to make them, and if you make them good, if you don't, that's fine. Um, so those little things that we do, it makes us feel super good about ourselves. So
Yeah,
it's gonna
yeah.
make you go, it's gonna make you want to go further. If you sit there and you learn something about history and you're like very interested in history, you're going to want to learn more, and you're going to want to apply it more, and you never know who you talk to that might be interested in that, you know. Like, I was learning something about intermittent fasting for one of my clients, and I actually sat there and had a whole conversation with my husband about it, and he looked interested. And I found out that he looked interested because he figured out that that's what he's been doing his whole life, and that's why he's healthy. I'm like,
No, it
uh,
ain't.
uh-huh. Because I always argue with him. I'm like, you're gonna die young, you have all these bad habits and this and that. Turns out this man has had the secret to being healthy, and he didn't even realize it. So he sat there, and I, for my life, I did not think that he was gonna be interested in this, because he's never interested in any of these, like, it's not so much as vanity. That I don't see it as vanity, but for him it's like vain, like, oh, you always want to lose weight, or like stuff like that. He's
Yeah.
not interested in that, but he was. And that's something that I learned, and I was like so happy to share it
Ah.
with him, that it made that relationship, it very, it opened a new chapter of our relationship. Gardening. Oh my God. I did not think that I would ever share all this information with my dad and my sister about, like, tomatoes. But it made me feel good, and I have tomatoes growing in my backyard. You
You go,
know?
girl.
Yes, like,
Yeah.
it's it's just learning about yourself. I have this client, we did the heart map. Um, right before she went on a trip, with someone that she was trying to see if it was compatible with her or not.
Okay.
And she said that she never had such good conversations with him, and it was because she was tapping into the things that she has that are positive, not what she thinks that he wants, you know because we're always thinking that, oh, this is what they want, so I gotta give them that.
Yeah. Like, you sort of
So we're
like
gonna give
tailor that conversation based on what you think the expectations are, not based on what you really want to talk about. It's probably why most first
absolutely.
dates are awkward.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The second one is way better.
Yeah, you just stop trying
But
too hard
like,
at that point. You're like,
but that's what I told her. I was like, find something you're good at and try to have that. And it sparked his interest. And then I think he went online and looked for something that they could do that was related to that during this trip. And
ah,
he went, like, because you're yes,
your passion kind
right.
of shows through. Like, oh.
You so happy. Because it's very simple, just like, but it takes for us to know each other, just like you said, with you finally looking at yourself and saying, I'm hot, I look good,
Like, you.
I look
I am
good, like,
shining right now. Like, look at me. Yeah, looking good.
yes, like, no pictures please.
This side. No, no, no. This side. Uh-huh. I look good that time.
I know. It took quite some time for you to get there, right?
Yes, it
And
did.
I really wish that it didn't take that long. Um, but the things that take long are things that, we take forever with us. It's like when you go to school, you have your master's, it took you forever, but that's gonna follow you until you die, and even after that, because you did it. So those things that take long, it's right. It's going to go with you for, because it took so much. It was habit building. It was, a process that your body went through,
Yes.
and your mind went through, that you're going to take that with you forever. So even though it can take, yes, It can take months, it can take years, especially for someone who's like been either battered or has gone through, different things in life. um but it will, you will take that with you forever. And if you end up having kids or even like nieces, nephews, they're going to see that, and they're
Yeah.
going to be like, yeah, I want to be like my auntie, I want to be like my mom, look at her, she's like so strong. And but also, yes, but also vulnerable, we don't want. And that's something that I had to go through.
Yeah.
It was, and I teach people, don't you ever just roll with it. If something happened to you, acknowledge it. Acknowledge it. And that's why, when you said, I had an eating problem, that's amazing because you're acknowledging it. You're not like,
Yeah.
that's a whole part of your life that you just like left in the background and you're like, oh no, I don't talk. You acknowledge it because that's why
Yes.
you're the way you are today. That's why you
Yeah,
smile.
I am
Right.
wonderful.
Yes. Yes. Because you went through the whole like journey of like discovering yourself and finding out that you're good enough, you know?
Yes.
So the fact that you mention it, that's amazing because
Thank
so
you.
many of us don't. Like,
Uh,
nah. Look at you, you're like,
yeah, no, like I put in so much work to get to this point. I will talk about it. Yeah, come on. Like,
yeah,
you know
no,
how
you,
hard
you
it
put
is
a
to
lot of
like
work.
stare for 3 days to cover a documentary. Like, I've put in so much work to get to this point. Like, I will talk about it.
Mhm. Yes, yes, exactly. No, you need to let people know, yes, I went through this and this is, I went through that journey. Don't be ashamed of that.
Yeah.
Because why? Why are you ashamed of it? You got out of it. And you're better, you're happy, you're smiling, you're like good, why not? I'm telling you,
Thank
it's
you.
simple. Yes, like because it's part of the beauty that makes us who we are. And it's I'm telling you, like my husband, he has so many examples. Here he is, happy. We bought a house recently, and we're so excited about it. And and he's like, here I am again with my 5-step plan, like how we did it, and all these things. And he's like, you know, I I I left the projects and now I bought a house. One
Like,
sentence, and everybody's like, yeah, you left the projects, you left that life.
okay, with
And here I am with the whole like presentation.
yeah, like we did this, we invested in this, we roadmapped this journey,
Yes,
and then this happened. This was a
yes.
major milestone. Like,
Yeah, we fixed our credit, we the saving. It was so hard. We had to cut a few memberships out, and here he is like, yeah, I left the project life. I'm like, but,
okay.
it's just it's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating, seeing how simple things are for
Yeah.
him to explain. And here we are just like, okay, we bought a house, I know it's big, but I gotta, I have to. And it's great, that you soak in every milestone, every little thing that you do. But in the end, you bought a house. That's what you need to focus on. And that's what he
Yes.
focuses on. We bought a
Yes.
house. Like, oh my God, we finally did it. Yes, we went through this whole process, but why keep reminding ourselves of that when
It's not the success that I bought a house.
exactly that's what, from A to B, not the whole circle.
You have like a whole 5-step plan outlined.
Not that, from A to B. And I know, like I said, it's a process because I'm sure, what you went through, about that
Yes.
whole process, but you
Yes.
don't want to focus on that.
No, I
You're
don't focus on
focusing
that.
on it. Yes, you're focusing on it while you're going through it. But after that, that's it. You're done. You're free.
Yeah.
You're happy. You love yourself. You're confident. You got that job interview. You actually then got the job, and that's what. that's what you focus on. Like, oh my God, I got the job. This is it. And then the next process and the next journey starts.
Yeah.
It just keeps going. And then, oh my God, my project got approved. Yes, I did it. Exactly. Like, come on. It's just, oh God, I love women.
We
I love
overthink
us.
every single thing. We're like, we overthink everything. Like, I hate going out, honestly. And then when someone tells me, yesterday I was supposed to be with a friend of mine that I've not seen since the whole isolation in March. So she had told me,
Yes.
'cause where I live, 5 minutes away is a supermarket that sells food. So she told me, I'm at the supermarket. I'm coming, and I was like, I am going to change my outfit, lock my door, walk downstairs in this apartment, walk 5 minutes to the rest to that supermarket, meet you, talk to you, walk back, climb up the stairs, come back home. Are you kidding me right now?
I I was not ready for this.
This energy, where's it coming from? All this effort, all this process, just to meet you. No.
Just no. You should have told me that yesterday. I know.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my God. And you know what? The first one of the first things that I said to someone that helped them was years ago, and she was, we were getting ready to go out, um, and she was getting all dolled up and whatever, and she said, "Yeah, because I gotta look good, because this and that," and I was like, us women, when we get dolled up and we get dressed out, the majority of the time, if we're going with a group of people, unfortunately, it's because of other women. Because we don't want them to say, "Oh, look at her hair," or "Look at that
Yeah,
outfit."
yeah. We don't want to
And I'm
look
like,
less attractive than our friends, and we don't want them to think we did not put effort into it, that we're being sloppy or something like that.
"Yes." I'm like, "You're getting ready for other women."
It keeps
And
it
she was
mean
like,
worse.
"What?" I'm like, "Yeah, you're not getting ready for the guy that's coming with. You're getting ready for us. We don't want you. We're fine. Like, get ready for you. Get ready. Just feel the way that you want to feel. If you want to go in jeans and everybody else is wearing dresses, whatever, you want to go in jeans.
Yeah.
Don't it all starts with those little, things that we don't notice, but we have to notice, because we're putting like all this makeup and the concealer and the this and all the Jeffree Star expensive makeup. Do you really want to do you
Oh my
really
god, poor Jeffrey.
I love Jeff. Listen, I'm all up to date with Jeffree Star. I'm subscribed to his channel, and this person, he makes me laugh, because guess what? He's
What?
simple. He's simple.
Oh,
If he wants to say F, he'll say F, whatever.
F
Like,
this.
yes, he. Like, what? Like, he's just like that. So, and that's what sometimes I aspire to be. I definitely, you know don't have the time or the energy to pull up all those beautiful, eye makeups that he does, and the hair. And I'm like, oh God, it must take forever for you to get out of your house. I
Yeah,
can't.
I have no
But
energy for that.
his personality, and he also went through a journey. Like, he did it, and it's a beautiful journey. When I watched all those series that he did, I was like, oh my God, this person, it's someone you definitely, you know want to see their journey and learn from them. Because right now he's like, yeah, I did this, like, yeah,
Oh,
I did it, I have this, I have that. And it's just, it's simple for him, because he's accepted who he is.
yes.
He doesn't overthink. We do absolutely everything. Oh, my cousin is going, and I haven't seen her in, like, what, oh my God, 10 months. uh, 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 what do I put on? Oh my God, have I lost weight? Like, can somebody tell me that I lost weight, so she thinks that I lost weight?
Oh yeah. That I can relate. I can relate to. A colleague of mine once made an off statement, like, Abigail, your belly's getting bigger. And I still remember it till now.
Like,
And I'm sure he has said other positive things. But when I think of the things he has said, that comes out first.
yeah, no, and that's when we, have to take it. I would have been diplomatic and said, "Oh, it's probably gas." But
Just
you
told him,
see,
shut up.
but you see, because that's something that I'm like, I need to stop doing that because they're gonna say something again and again, and I'm going to run out of excuses.
Yeah.
I need to stop them. Like, okay, what's the point of this statement right now?
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I'm not pregnant. Maybe I'm eating.
It's my own
Have you
body.
thought about
Are you
that?
the one with the belly?
Have you thought?
No, I am. I thought so. Shut up.
Exactly. Like, no, we need to.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, it's a really long process, and
Yeah.
sometimes clients come to me and they're like, they're thinking that within a month, they're going to become Wonder Woman, and it's not possible. This is gonna be, if we're being honest, we would have someone working with us for the rest of our lives, because there's always going to be a new stage in our lives, a new
Yeah.
milestone where we're going to feel a little bit insecure. But my job, and just like your whole website, when you have the resources and stuff,
Yeah.
our our goal is to give women tools that they can use for the rest of their lives, because we don't, I don't want you to pay for my daughter's college because we're working forever together. I don't want that. I just want you to have the tools that you need, so you can pay for your child's college, or you can come up with that idea, or you can bring that idea up to someone. So it's giving you the tools for the rest of your life,
Yeah.
and it's up to us to say we need these tools, and we are going to grab them and run with them.
Yeah. Are there any misconceptions, at least other misconceptions that people, whether men or women, have about self-confidence, especially women with self-confidence issues? Are there any misconceptions around it? There might be a misconception that women who struggle with self-confidence issues, at least not, I don't know if it's a misconception or if it's a thought, that if you struggle with self-confidence issue, that you're going to be apparently introverted, you're going to be mean because you're insecure about something, and so you sort of lash out, I guess. At least these are sort of things you pick up, either because it's what you believe, or because it's how it's portrayed in movies. Like the woman with the low self-confidence is always kind of like introverted.
Yeah.
Or she's very aggressive and lashes out at you.
Yeah,
At
she's
least
a bully.
yeah. At least that's how she's portrayed on TV. So, are there some misconceptions, or maybe they're half truths about women who have self-confidence issues?
Absolutely, just like you said, there's either she's aggressive, or she's always like introvert, and that's it's so incredibly hard for me to see people, I assume that that's why they're this way or why they're that way. Another one that we look at when we're looking at people that either struggle or that are very let's do it on the other side. Someone who is very confident. Oh, they're being cocky. No, they're not.
Oh, you're being full of yourself.
Yes, you're being full of yourself.
Yeah.
The world does not revolve around you.
Oh yeah, I've heard that a million times. Abigail, calm down. It's not
You're
about
the
you.
center of the
It's
universe.
about me.
Yes, you're like, you're not the center of the. I'm like, excuse you, just because I'm confident in what I know, that doesn't mean that, you know, um that I'm think that the world, it revolves around me, and that I'm the big bright sun, and or the hot bright center of the whole universe. Yes, I do think that, but that's not the case here.
Yeah, the sun revolves around me. Like, whose eyes do I see through? Yours or mine? Mine. It
With
revolves around me then.
yes, within my whole empire at home, yes, it does. But right now, this is not the case. But that's what they're going to say, because guess what? They want to put you down. You
Yeah.
know, whatever little thing that you say that makes you look smarter or more confident or more knowledgeable, which most likely you are. It's because you're cocky, you're being full of yourself, you just, or you're faking it.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Although admittedly there is that fake it till you make it mentality, that fake what you are not till you get to what you will be, I guess.
I 50% of the time believe in that, and it's because culture has made us fake it. Because if you don't, if you present a resume, and there's absolutely no word of like experience on doing
Uh,
this or doing, they might just put you to the side, and I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna put that I did this and that I did that, and then I'm just gonna wing it when I get there, because I know I'm a
yeah,
good learner. I know I'm a
I
good
would
learner.
learn anyway.
Yeah, so exactly. You're definitely, I'm like, they have training. That's one of the things. I'm like, they say that they're gonna
Yeah.
train me. Why do I need the experience? So I believe in that. Some of the time, other times I'm like, yeah, you can't do that. You need to know what you're doing.
Yes.
You definitely need to know what you're doing. But like the with self confidence, it's always also, it goes to like the man and the woman thing. Um, they're always going to think that the one that struggles with self confidence, it's the woman, not the
Yeah.
man. Like if we're in a team, just like those two coworkers that I told you,
Yeah.
I'm sure that if somebody gave them a project, they would not doubt the man. They would probably say, is she going to be able to handle it? Or will she be strong enough to? Yes, and it pains me to admit this, but I know that's most likely going to happen. They're not
No.
going to doubt him. They're not, because guess what? He's just like you. He gets to a place and he's like, I'm here.
Peace out. I got this.
Every single morning I see this man and he's like,
Yo, come at me. I know this. The top of the world.
I have no idea what he's doing. And then later on he's texting me, so what are we supposed to be doing? And I'm like, listen, this, and that. But he's got the job. I'm sure he's probably getting paid, if even if it's just a little bit more than she is. Um, and this man is not constantly thinking that he's gonna lose his job.
Yeah.
She is, because she thinks she's too emotional. She's too afraid to bring forward. She's very passionate about, Black Lives Matter, and about, women in the workplace. She's very passionate about these things, but she thinks that people are gonna think that she's emotional. So her self confidence is through it. It's nowhere, and people are going to see that. I'm sure that if they gave him a project, she would probably manage it all on her own. But whoever's giving that project to them is going to think that
He's better
he's
at
going to
it.
be, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Oof.
it's not just like about it's all of these misconceptions, and it's tied to us because we're women. If a man is very confident, they're not going to say most likely he's cocky. They're going to say, oh, he knows what he's talking about, he
Yeah.
knows what he's doing, he must have a lot of experience. you
Yes.
know she's full of herself.
She's faking it.
How? How?
I know. It just really offensive and judgmental opinions we have based on both genders. And it always annoys me because and I ask myself, did he have a say in his gender when he was being born, or at least in the sex when he was being born? Did he have a say in that? No. Did she have a
Yes,
say in her sex when she was being born? No. So why are you putting more emphasis on one over the other when neither had any say over it?
absolutely. And that's something that I also I've gotten into arguments on social media over this because a lot of like domestic violence and all of these things that we face as women, a lot of men do too, but nobody's defending them. Nobody's saying, oh, what about if a man goes through this? On a lot of like the posters and the ads, it's always a woman calling the hotline to get help.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's
that's the
like,
downside of the whole gender inequality thing. That we've somehow stripped the voice from men as well, and so we when a man is abused, it's like you're a man, you're strong, you're letting this a woman beat you. I'm
yes,
okay, but really,
she still did it though.
he's in danger. Get him the hell out of there.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So I've gotten into arguments because it's like, we can't gain an equality trying to put someone else down because
Yeah, that's
guess
not
what? If
equality. That is flipping the oppression switch.
exactly, exactly. Just like, I a lot of the times I also get into discussions over different cultures, like, oh, why do they have to cover their faces? Why do they always have to wear like long? I'm
Is
like,
it your
do
goddamn
you?
business? Is it
Yes,
your religion?
I'm like,
Mind your
it's
own
not.
business.
Exactly. I was telling my husband, we used to have a landlord, right? He was from
Yeah.
Pakistan. This man, oh my God, he made me laugh all of the time because he did not agree with absolutely anything that we did. And he was so blunt. One time he realized that my husband and I were not legally married, right? And he tells me, your child. And I'm like, what happened with her? And he's like, no good. I'm like, what? And he's like, you're not married. I'm like, I know. But it
I
was it
noticed.
was it was his culture. He's like,
Yeah,
if you're
yeah.
not have a child, so you have to accept those things. And I was telling my husband one time, I was like, have you noticed that his wife looks so incredibly happy? I'm like, she is so happy to go outside and hang the clothes. She is so happy to cook, to do these things. Like, why are we always trying to judge when we don't know? That woman looks happier than any of these women around us right now.
Yeah, yeah.
She's wearing her clothes, she's covering herself,
She's
but
fine. She's not asking
she
you to
looks
help her. She's not oppressed or in prison. And you were actually shoving your opinions down her truth, so to
yes,
speak.
you're trying to make her feel oppressed. And it's not like that. It's absolutely not like that. And I think that all of these things that we've made people believe in this fight, because I know it's a fight. um but we have to know where we are. You can't go to Pakistan and fight for a woman that doesn't feel oppressed, that's what she's grown with, what she's accustomed to, that's her culture. Just like you can't fight a battle for a black person that doesn't feel oppressed. If they don't feel like that, they don't feel like that. If they don't feel like they want to focus on Black Lives Matter and they want to go out and protest, you can't make them, you
Yeah.
know?
You should
And,
focus on
and
those who are actually being oppressed rather than shove your opinion down someone else's truth when they don't feel oppressed.
exactly. And these are things that we also deal with as women and with our self-confidence, because some people, they try, you're really confident and you're this and you're that, and some people, they come to you and they try to make you feel that you need to get more self-confidence, and you're like, but I'm
I'm
fine. And then
fine.
you're doubting yourself and you're like, well, maybe I'm not. Yeah, maybe I'm not projecting, because you're going to start like, oh, maybe I'm not projecting it like hard enough. And then you're going to start to focus on that. And guess what? They won. Here you are again at the bottom because you
Ah.
like people.
Yeah.
Right.
Ew.
And you weren't feeling like that. Yes, yes, it's so aggravating. It really is. But we need to just like hold on to each other. We do. That's why I believe in what you're doing. That's why I believe in what I'm doing. Um, because even if it's just a little bit, even if you just get to that one woman, let's just say that you just only got to one woman, that one woman will get to one more, and to one more, and to one more, and to one more.
And just the
And
cycle continues, and it's growing. You're making that impact.
yes, yes, and you made a whole tribe without just even know it. We just gathered that, you only got to one.
Yeah.
And you made that whole tribe of like confident, beautiful women from all over the world, all colors, all sizes, all hair types. And, we're teaching the next generation to be that. But we're also telling them, yes, you're going to find jerks at work.
You
You're
will.
going,
You will.
yeah, forever, because it's just the way things are. People who, another misconception is that, we see someone who is projecting self-confidence, but she's only faking it. And in reality, she goes home and she's, beating herself up because, she thought that she said one wrong word during her presentation, or
Yeah.
she wore the wrong shoes, or this and that. So we have to be more human. I just, we have to be more human and more humble with
Yeah.
ourselves and, with others. And
Others.
if you see someone else struggling, just like jump in and help them. Like, just go in and help them, and hopefully they will help someone else. If not, then
Yeah.
they were jerks too.
Yeah. Woo, we've covered a lot. This has been one very
We
long interview. It's been like an hour and a half.
Oh my God. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's just that this is such a good. Yesterday, I was talking to someone about mental health, and then he goes and said we could have a whole series on this. I'm like, yes, we could, on just a one topic.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. Woo.
about meds. And we could have
Oh
a series and a movie. We could do a whole Sex and the City thing.
my god. Okay, okay. Let's like slowly wrap it up. Okay, so as a life coach, you help them sort of like figure out their hard map, like you said, like what you're good
Yes.
at and
Yes.
what you want to improve. And so
Absolutely.
after that, what do you help them with as a life coach? After I've done that, what's my next step?
So we've set a goal. We've set a goal, right? But I take it back to the very basics. Like I like you just say, with the heart map, what you're good at, what you need help with, and then I start with one goal. Like, okay, so this is what your big goal. Just like it's just like buying a house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your last step is getting that house, right?
Yes.
And I tell them this, like you have to know. A lot of us start to think where we're at and where we're going. We have to do it backwards. We have to know where we're going, so that way we can set up those milestones. So I have the goal, and then we set the action steps. So you have this, one goal of setting up a routine, because you're starting your business, right? So the goal that we figured out was, set up a routine.
Yeah.
Morning one, because you're not used to it, blah blah blah. So a lot of them will just want to say, okay, so let me get my planner and I'm gonna plan every single day of the week for a whole month. I'm like, scratch that.
You cannot
No,
sustain that, too.
no, no, you're not doing that. You're not doing that. We are right now going to look at what your week looks like, and then try to accommodate, because here
Yes.
we go again. You already have things going for you, and you already have good things, so why erase that? So we have our sessions. I check in on them, like, hey, did you wake up at 8 like you say you were going to? Did you set up an alarm? Just like very little things. We have to start very small and then grow to that final goal. And with some of them it's quick. Some of them get it quick because they're go-getters.
Yeah.
They want to do it and they've done it and that's it. Some of them will definitely take time.
Take some time. We all move at different paces.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I celebrate the smallest thing. I do. I'm like, oh my God, yes, yay, 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 we did it. And yes, exactly. We have to celebrate the smallest things. So that's kind of like where we start. And then once we're done, once I feel and she feels that she's empowered in that area, then we can work on the next one. So you
Okay.
have your major goal, right?
Yeah.
You have your checkpoints, or your,
Yeah.
if you're
Like a
right,
milestone or
you
something?
have, yeah, no, because then you have the little milestones, right?
Oh,
So
okay.
you have a race, right? The beginning and the end.
Yeah.
Then you have your checkpoints, and within those checkpoints, you have little milestones. I know it sounds like a lot, but that's how we build habits. That's how we build, you know, our routine, and that's how we actually keep to it and stay with it. Um,
Okay.
because you're building little things every single day. You're doing something different to get you to that point. Um,
Okay.
so a lot of us will get to a life coach or even a therapist, and we think that they're gonna fix us. No, that's not gonna
They can
happen.
fix you.
Yes, exactly. So it's starting to work, and people get angry
Yeah.
because they're, what do you mean I'm gonna start with that basic thing, blah blah blah? Well, have you even done that basic thing? I have to get like that sometimes. I'm like, but have you tried it though? Like, let's let's wipe everything clean and let's start from there.
Yeah.
um so it's very interesting. I actually love it. Just to see those little milestones, then the checkpoints, and like, oh my God, you're 2 out of 3, you're almost there. Yes.
Yay! Oh my god. Wait, so let's say I'm struggling with some personal roadblocks like my self confidence, and now I know I have to get a life coach that's gonna work with me to have this hard map, to have these goals, to have this checkpoint, to have this milestone. Instead of start small and walk towards it. So how do anyone who's at this point contact you? Like just Google Vivian Alvarado and something like.
No, I have a Facebook page, and I also have an Instagram page.
What's your Instagram? Let's follow you
And
right now.
yeah, okay.
We're
So
doing this.
it's it's Coach dot Viviana.
Coach Viviana.
Yeah. Yep.
Coach
Coach. Let me see.
Viviana.
Yes. And you'll see, like, I have all of these little positive things and
Is this you?
empowerment.
I get the wrong person.
Yes, it is.
Woohoo! Found you.
I have like all these empowerment. I actually, there's a heart map there that you can see.
Oh, oh, the hearts. Positive trait heart map. Found it.
Yes.
Motivated, young body, young soul, bold, flexible, adjust, spontaneous, independent, stepping out of my comfort zone, goals, I like to talk. Oh, that's quite nice.
Yes. And that was for that one that I told you that she was going out on a trip.
Yeah.
And that took a whole session to get her to do that.
Oh, whoa,
So
whoa, okay.
with some it's quick, with some it takes a long time. But that's, with the like to talk and spontaneous, that's what she ran with, that's absolutely what she ran with.
Oh,
So
okay.
my Instagram is more about like helping, just putting positive things out there, and connecting with other
Yeah.
women, and just like building a tribe.
Okay.
And then through there, they send me messages, and then we start talking.
Okay. Okay.
And we
What's
just
the
go
Facebook?
from there.
I know we found the coach at Viviana for Instagram. You mentioned the
Yeah,
Facebook page.
a Facebook page. Yes, it's good for you life coaching.
Good for you, life coaching. You're gonna like it. Life coaching. My typing has somehow gotten worse. Found you. Ta-da.
Oh, good.
Yes. I see you have a website. Good for you, lifecoaching.com.
Yes, I started that, and I'm making blog posts
Okay, okay, okay.
every week. I try to make one, and it's just that's one of the things that I'm like, oh my goodness, is it good enough? Are people going to be interested? But I just post them. I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah, go for it, girl.
If someone reads it, they read it.
Yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah.
but yeah, and then on that website they could click the link to my coaching app,
Okay,
and
okay, okay.
um, that's where we start our whole process. I like to do kind of like a hybrid thing. Like I'd like to do sessions, but I also like to text and keep in
Okay,
touch
okay.
from one session to the next. Maybe they achieve that goal, and then we can start working on something else, as opposed to them just waiting
Yeah.
to Friday. Yeah. Um,
Okay, 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 okay. Yeah, so you can reach her on her Facebook page, Good for You Life Coaching, Instagram, Vivian Coach that Viviana,
yeah.
all the websites, her blog, Good for You Life Coaching, goodforyoulifecoaching.com. Oh my God, we've had a very, very interesting and long conversation.
I
Oh
know, I know. It is very interesting, and I like
yeah,
finding women like you that are like so happy and excited about
thank
everything. I'm like, yay!
you. Yeah.
By the way, I like that picture in the back that you have,
Oh, thanks, I
with the
made it.
feminism and the.
Yeah, I made
You
that.
did? That's awesome.
Yeah, know your power, girl hero. The future is female. We are women. Feminism, girls can, and then the female gender icon sign.
That is beautiful. I definitely want one so I can post it
Oh, sure.
behind me too.
I can send you the PDF because I had just made that. Just because I have actually made that because my caretaker has refused to come like fix the tiny cracks in this. So it's like, you know what? Cover it up. That was the entire point behind this. There's a crack
I
behind,
love it.
and it's covering that.
I love it. That is perfect.
Like, gonna cover it up, but like make it make sense. Like, boom, that was it. Well, let me send you the PDF. I'm gonna send you the PDF so you can just print it out as you want.
Yes, I love. I'm gonna turn on my printer right now.
Yeah, just
I
do it.
love that. Such a good
I know.
idea.
Oh, yeah. People won't believe it that I tell them that it looks good, but I'm literally hiding something right now. Just ignore it.
Fake it till you make it. We just talked
Yeah,
about that.
and it looks good, right? Yeah. You know
It
what's
really,
behind that?
it
That's a
really
crack in my plaster.
does. Oh, thank you. I'm just covering it.
Yeah.
I
Let me
love
find it. It's
that.
actually called a
That's
motivation
perfect.
post. Wait, where is it? Wait, Wait, huh? Yo, it's motivation. Oh, I'm in Dropbox. Oh boy, sorry. Pictures. Here we go. Motivation. Oh yeah. PDF. Okay, it's sending now.
I'm so
Yeah.
excited.
Yep, sent. Have you seen it?
I'm like ready to post it.
Yeah.
It's just so beautiful, and it goes so much with like everything that's going
Yeah,
on right
yeah.
now. I think it's just,
Thanks.
and I like the different like at the different fonts of the letters. I just love it. I'm gonna post it.
Thank
I
you.
promise you. And I'm gonna send you a picture of it.
Please do.
Did
Thanks.
you put your name though? Did you put like your name around it?
Oh no, I didn't. I just made it. In fact, I
You
did. I just made
should.
it to cover a plaster scratch, so it's just like just hide it. That was the whole point to hide
Okay,
it. Like,
so if you don't mind, I'm gonna go on and edit and put your like. Do you want me to put like FHE
yeah,
or like your name? I'm gonna do that because if I post it,
yeah.
I don't want people feeling it.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, because it's
Um,
yours. Listen, this is yours.
you can just put the website like www.forempire.com. Yeah.
I will. I promise you that I will
Thank
because you don't want
you.
people feeling that.
Thanks.
Yes, I'm gonna post it on Instagram. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go on. I'm gonna put the website. I'm gonna send it back to you, and then I'm gonna put it on Instagram. And
Okay, thank you. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, let's just say bye because it's still recording. Bye.
oh my God! Yes. Okay.